All right, let's talk about Fiverr. Today, we are going to break down a super simple but really effective strategy that's all about one thing, landing you that very first order. Let's jump right in. So this is the question on every new freelancer's mind, right? You've set up your profile, you're all fired up, and then nothing. Just crickets. What is actually going on? Why is it so hard to get that first bit of momentum? Now, the first thing a lot of people do is they blame the platform itself. You'll hear things like, oh, it's too crowded or the algorithm is broken. But you know what? Most of the time, that's really not the problem. The real difference maker, the thing that separates the people who succeed from those who don't, especially in the beginning, it all comes down to your strategy. It's about having the right game plan from day one, and that is exactly what we're going to lay out right now. Okay, so before you even dream of creating your first gig, we've got to lay the groundwork. This is the prep work, the stuff most people just skip over, and honestly, it's absolutely vital if you want to stand out. So check this out. The very first step is you have to niche down. Saying you do graphic design is way too broad. I mean, you're competing with literally hundreds of thousands of people. But what if you specialize in podcast cover design? All of a sudden, you're not a tiny fish in the ocean. You're a big fish in a much smaller pond. A buyer looking for that specific thing will find you so much faster. And this pretty much says it all. It's simple math, really. When you're the perfect, specific solution to someone's very specific problem, they don't have to think twice. They see you, they know you're the one, and boom, your chances of getting hired just skyrocketed. All right, the second part of your foundation is all about proof. People need to see what you can do before they'll risk hiring you. So the game plan is simple. Create 3 to 5 awesome sample pieces before your gig ever goes live. This isn't just practice. This is your portfolio. It's the proof that shows a buyer you're the real deal. And having that strong portfolio right from the start does 2 amazing things. First, it instantly builds trust. A buyer can see your quality and feels way more confident. And second, it lets you charge more. You're not some random beginner with an empty profile. You're a professional with proven skills. So you've picked your niche, you've built a killer portfolio. Now what? Well, now we have to wrap all that skill into an offer that clients just can't say no to. This is what people will actually see when they find you on Fiverr. Think of your gig as a highly focused solution to one single problem. It needs a super clear title that grabs attention, a simple description that cuts straight to the point, and a thumbnail that makes people stop scrolling. Everything about it should scream, I solved this one problem perfectly. And here is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The title isn't just, I will design thumbnails. No, it's I will design high CTR YouTube thumbnails. CTR means click-through rate, which is exactly what every YouTuber wants, more clicks. See the difference? You're not selling a picture, you're selling a result. Okay, while you're putting your offer together, there is a very, very common trap that so many beginners fall into. They think it'll help them get clients, but it can be a disaster. Let's talk about the unlimited revisions trap. Offering unlimited revisions sounds generous, but trust me, it can become a nightmare. It can turn into a never-ending cycle of tiny changes that just eats up all your time. Plus, it kind of signals to clients that your time isn't that valuable. The smart professional move, always set a firm limit, like 2 or 3 revisions, and state it clearly from the start. So we've got the setup and the offer sorted, but real long-term success on Fiverr is about more than that. It's about having the right mindset and playing the long game. This isn't just about one order, it's about building a business. This is a big one, and you really, really cannot afford to get this wrong. For everyone's safety and to keep the platform fair, you have to know that Fiverr is watching all communications. The rules here are simple, and they are not flexible. Never, and I mean never, try to move a conversation or a payment off of Fiverr by sharing your email or your WhatsApp. Their system will catch it, and the consequence isn't a slap on the wrist. It's usually a swift and permanent ban. It is just not worth it. It is so important to have the right expectations here. Getting that first order, it might happen in a day, it might take a week, or it could even take a month. This is not a get-rich-quick deal. You're building a reputation from scratch. And that brings us to the 2 most important tools you'll need as a new freelancer. It's not software, it's not gear, it's consistency and patience. You gotta consistently check your messages and do great work. And you need the patience to stick with it while the right clients start to find you.
So we've gone through the whole blueprint, right? We've talked about building your foundation, creating an offer that actually sells, and having that long-term mindset. Everything you need to get started is right here.
The strategy is all laid out, and the steps are clear. So really, there's only one question left, and it's for you. What are you going to do now? Because at the end of the day, no video, no article, no amount of advice can get that order for you. The final step, well, it's the most important one, and it's all on you. Take these tips, build your gig, and go start your journey. All right, so you're thinking about jumping into the world of freelancing, and you've definitely heard the name Fiverr thrown around. In this explainer, we're going to uncover the key advantages that can really help you jumpstart your career and earn that first online paycheck fast. Let's get right into it. So, you've got a skill, right? Maybe you're great at writing or design or editing, and you're ready to turn that into actual money. But the biggest question is always, where do you even begin? The internet feels like this massive, crowded place, and just getting noticed can seem impossible. Well, that's exactly the problem we're going to tackle today. We are going to pull back the curtain on some of the most powerful and, let's be honest, often misunderstood benefits of using Fiverr. You can think of this as your beginner's fast track, giving you that little bit of insider knowledge to help you get ahead of the pack. First things first, let's just talk about how big Fiverr is. This isn't just some random website. It's one of the most popular freelancing platforms in the entire world. And it's an absolute hotspot, especially for freelancers in places like India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So what's the secret sauce? Why is it so popular? Well, it's actually pretty simple. At its core, Fiverr is built in a way that gives newcomers a real fighting chance to land that very first client and start building a reputation from day one, which is something a lot of other platforms just don't do. So let's dive into the first and maybe the biggest advantage, and it tackles the one thing that stops most people from starting anything new: money. That's right, zero, zilch. It costs absolutely nothing to get started on Fiverr. And this is huge because it completely removes the financial risk. If you're a student or just starting out, that's a massive weight off your shoulders. Think about what this really means. You don't need any startup cash. And you definitely don't have to pay some monthly subscription fee just to keep your profile active. You can just start. It's that simple. And getting started is incredibly fast. You can literally create your account in a few minutes. And right away, you can offer up to 7 different services. On Fiverr, they call these gigs. This lets you experiment and see which of your skills gets the most attention from buyers. Okay, on to the next advantage. And honestly, this one is a total game changer. It's all about how you find clients, or maybe more accurately, how they find you. Take a look at this. Fiverr is a global marketplace. We're talking about clients from the biggest economies in the world. The USA, the UK, all across Europe. You're not just limited to your local neighborhood. Your market is the entire planet. And what does that mean for you? It means you can earn in a strong currency, like US dollars, no matter where you live. For a lot of people, that kind of access to international clients is a powerful path to financial growth. Note this. This is probably the biggest difference for beginners. On most freelancing sites, you're always on the hunt. You're sending out proposals, bidding against tons of other people. It's exhausting. On Fiverr, you set up your service, your gig, almost like it's a product on a shelf, and clients browse and come to you. It completely flips the script. And here's a little insider secret for you. Fiverr actually helps new sellers. If you create a really high-quality, well-described gig, their algorithm might give you what's called a beginner boost. It'll actually push your gig in front of more buyers to help you get those first few clicks and, fingers crossed, your very first order. Okay, let's talk about the most important part of any job: getting paid. You know, a huge fear for new freelancers is doing a bunch of work and then nothing, getting scammed or ghosted. So how does Fiverr stop that from happening? Well, they have a pretty smart system. See, when a client orders from you, they don't pay you directly. They pay Fiverr first. Fiverr then holds that money safely. Once you deliver the work and everyone's happy, boom, Fiverr releases the funds to you. This simple process basically gets rid of the risk of someone running off without paying. And getting your money out of Fiverr and into your own pocket is super straightforward. You've got great options like Payoneer, or you can just connect it directly to your local bank account. It's designed to be simple and secure. So let's recap. It's free to start, the clients come to you, your payments are totally secure. It sounds kind of perfect, doesn't it? But you know what they say. If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
And this really hits the nail on the head. Everything we've talked about is true. It makes Fiverr incredibly friendly for beginners. But that one little word, but, that's where our story takes a turn.
Because while the opportunity is absolutely massive, the platform is not without its traps and its pitfalls. So the real question you should be asking is, what is the dark side of Fiverr that most of the success stories never seem to mention?
So, you've heard about Fiverr, right? That huge online marketplace that's supposed to be the future of work. But what if I told you that behind all those success stories, there's a much, much tougher reality? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the dark side of Fiverr and covering what you absolutely must know to survive on the platform.
And this quote right here, it really just says it all. If you've been sold this dream of Fiverr being some kind of quick and easy way to make a living, well, consider this your official reality check. It's a blunt statement, but it directly attacks that common myth.
Look, think of this as your essential pre-flight checklist. Before you even dream of creating your first gig, you have got to understand the full picture, the good, the bad, and especially the hidden stuff that'll just eat up your time and energy if you don't see it coming.
All right, so let's just go ahead and tackle that big myth head on. This whole idea that you can just, throw up a profile and watch the clients roll in, for most new sellers, that's just not how it works. Not even close.
Now, don't get me wrong. Fiverr is a massive, incredibly powerful marketplace. It has this amazing potential to connect you with clients all over the world. But that global reach, it comes with a steep price. Just brutal competition. It is a very, very crowded space, and it's the newcomers, the beginners who have the absolute steepest climb to get noticed.
So what does all this competition actually look like when you're in the trenches? Let's break down the challenges you're going to face the very second your profile goes live. These are the built-in hurdles of the marketplace itself.
The first, and maybe the most immediate problem, is just the staggering number of people you're up against. We're not talking about a few dozen competitors. We're talking about a global pool of talent, all fighting for the same exact jobs.
And this is where it gets really, really tough. I mean, just look at some of the most popular fields. If you're a graphic designer, a writer, or a web developer, you're not just competing with a few other freelancers. You are literally competing against a global army of talent. And to make it even harder, Fiverr's algorithm often creates this winner-take-all environment, where it just keeps promoting the top sellers, making it almost impossible for anyone new to break through the noise.
And that brings us right to problem number 2, something people call the race to the bottom. It's this vicious cycle. See, as a beginner, you have 0 reviews, and reviews are the absolute lifeblood of the platform. So to get those first few crucial reviews, you're basically forced to drop your prices, often to a point that's just not sustainable. It's a system that creates this constant pressure to devalue your own skills just to get a foot in the door. Okay, so on top of the insane competition and the pressure to go cheap, there's another hurdle, the cold, hard cash that the platform itself takes from you. Let's talk numbers.
20%. Just let that number sink in for a second. Fiverr takes a flat 20% commission on every single dollar you make. That's a fifth of your money, gone, before you ever even see it.
And to put that into real-world terms, just look at this. You do all the work on a $100 project, you deliver it, the client loves it, and you walk away with $80. That $20 fee is a huge cut, and it applies to every single gig, whether it's for $5 or $5,000.
Oh, and here's the real kicker. This is something that catches so many new sellers by surprise. If a client is just so happy with your work that they decide to give you a tip, Fiverr takes 20% of that too. That's right, they take a cut of your tips. But hey, the challenges aren't just financial. As a seller, you're also taking on some pretty big personal and professional risks. This next part is all about protecting yourself on a platform where, let's be honest, you don't really make the rules.
So, let's play out a super common scenario. You've delivered the work, you've done your best, but you have a difficult, unhappy client. Now what? What are your options? The answer? Well, it's not as simple as you might think.
And this is the brutal truth of it. Fiverr's system is almost always skewed in favor of the buyer. So that leaves you with 2 really terrible choices. Option A, you can sink extra, unpaid hours into the project to try and make them happy. Or option B,
You can stand your ground and risk getting a nasty one-star review that could absolutely tank your profile's ranking. It's a total no-win situation.
And the risks go even deeper than that. Your entire business on Fiverr is, well, it's fragile. You break a rule, even by accident, or maybe you try to take a conversation off-platform, and boom, you could get your account suspended or even permanently banned. You're playing in their sandbox, and they can kick you out at any moment for any reason.
So when you pile all of this together, the competition, the low pay, the fees, the risks, it all boils down to the final and maybe the biggest problem of all, the constant, crushing personal pressure.
You see, Fiverr's algorithm rewards two things above all else: speed and perfection. You are constantly on the clock. You're expected to reply to messages within minutes, deliver projects on crazy tight deadlines, and somehow maintain a nearly flawless 5-star rating. It is a relentless pace that for a lot of people leads straight to burnout. So, after all that, you might be feeling a little discouraged. I get it. The competition, the fees, the risks, the pressure, it's a lot. And that brings us to the biggest question of all.
I mean, this is the bottom line, right? With all of these landmines and challenges, is it even worth trying to build a business on Fiverr?
And the answer is yes. But, and this is a huge but, it comes with a major catch. It is absolutely not easy money. But it's not impossible either. The secret isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart. If you really understand how the system works and you have the right strategy, you can navigate all these challenges and still come out on top.
Knowing about these problems is the first critical step, but it's not the whole story. So what's the solution? How do you actually win on Fiverr? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down next time. The specific, actionable strategies you can use to crush these hurdles and build a freelance business that actually thrives on the platform.